up, YouTube? Last week's MS Monday discussed my high school era symptoms, so you guessed it, we are talking about college era symptoms, which includes cognitive issues, continued muscle weakness, my entire body going numb, and vertigo, aka the scariest day of my life. Really quick, because I don't know where it fits in, after I graduated, my entire body went numb, head to toe numb, except for my face. I want you to picture right now, do it, your genitals being numb. Like, you cannot feel your genitals. Sucks, doesn't it? So I went and got my hood pierced. That was fun. I graduated high school and headed off to Kettering University, which is a college that does 10 weeks of school, 10 weeks of work, 10 weeks of school, 10 weeks of work. It was full of distractions. Fun distractions, but it was still distracting me from what my body was telling me. Which is probably why when I was in school session, I really only remember the cognitive issues, that it was changing. And I can't blame it all on the MS, because I'll be perfectly honest, I did the party scene. I was worried about which frat party I was going to that night, and I did the traditional college girl thing. But we are not here to talk about parties, boys, and booze, now are we? Things got dicey when I went away for my first work session. I was an industrial engineer for UPS out in Illinois. I had no friends, no family, nothing but pain. Lots and lots and lots of pain. I don't know if you're familiar with the Catch Hub, but it's huge. It is enormous, and our team would walk the hub, and I couldn't keep up with them. It would just drove me crazy. I was the youngest. I was a female. I had something to prove, and then my jello legs would just come out when I didn't want them to come out. And I had no idea why, because at this point I still did not put the muscle weakness connection together. It was so frustrating. My body would go into overdrive when I got home from work with just nerve pain and muscle weakness, and it just, Mary, you're so stupid. Figure this out. I'm trying. And yeah, those were the conversations I had because I lived by myself and didn't have friends. Fast forward to my second work term, I became a delivery driver for Pizza Hut in addition to my job at UPS. I was poor, I wanted friends, and I just didn't want to think about the pain I was in. So the more I worked, the more I kept my brain busy, the more I didn't think about what was going on with my body. And then there was the night that I came home from work and I sat down at my computer because I had an appointment with Dr. Google. You know what? It was time that I sat down with him. And I searched, and I searched, and I searched. And I found out I had MS. You know what? Dr. Google isn't always bad, but I do not recommend it for, everything else. But it can help you get to the source, figure out something. Just when doctors can't, sometimes you just need to go to another person who's experienced the same exact things as you, which is probably why I do these videos. A really weird mix of emotions came over me that night. It was just relief because I figured out what I had, and that means we can start treatments and stuff like that. And then it was scared because I don't want MS. Like, give it back. Can I take it back to the store? I don't want it. I have my receipt still. We all know that's not the way things work. So I quit my jobs and I came home. Once I was home, I remember going to my family doctor and I was so excited and I said, I have MS. I figured it out. I have MS, now fix me. And he said, well, okay, if that's what you think you have, then the first step is to get an MRI. So you know what? I went and had my first MRI. And then things started to spiral out of control because that's what happens in a relapse. I remember walking around campus as close to the wall as I could because I had to put my hand on the wall to walk straight because I was like a pinball machine bouncing from wall to wall. And I didn't want people to realize what was going on. I internalized things and I just handled them, and The people at school didn't need to know that something was wrong, but I don't know, but I think it's MS, or I don't know. I drove out to my dad's house one day, and I really think that it was against my mom's wishes because she wanted me to stay home, stay close, which I should have listened to her because moms are always right. And I remember lying on the couch, and I felt like I had just the worst hangover in the world. You know, all of those hangovers where you lie on the couch, but you put one foot on the floor, but because the broom is spinning, you just can't get it to slow down. It's just so much fun. I got the brilliant idea to crawl up the stairs to my bedroom, which was not such a brilliant idea, and I got a hold of my best friend and I told her to come pick me up because I couldn't drive. Like, I couldn't even walk, so how was I going to drive home? I remember her helping me down the stairs, and I remember sitting at the bottom of the stairs, and I just started puking all over myself, and she was here and my dad was there and he was on the phone, and then he saw me puking, so he went and got me a bowl, and then she was trying to help me, whatever, I don't know, and she ended up going upstairs and getting me the sexiest outfit I've probably ever worn in my entire life. Since I didn't live at my dad's house, there was not much to choose from. And I went to the ER in this sexy white shirt with yellow pit stains and some red cheer pants. But it didn't matter at that point because that was not even a concern. Once she got me cleaned up, she pulled her little roller skate of a car up to the front porch, which was on my dad's flower beds, and then he got mad at her because she pulled up on the flower beds, and she got mad at him because I don't know what I was doing, but I was unable to walk. It was like this floppy, sloppy thing, and eventually I got in the car. Seriously, it was the scariest day of my life, and I really cannot believe that I was able to get it out for you today without crying and doing, you know, emotional things, because it was awful. I mean, a relapse or any sort of attack is just, you have no control over your body and you depend on everybody else to do stuff, and caregivers are really important for people with MS. Krista could burn down my house or something and I wouldn't care. She would still be my best friend. The ER was a big waste of time. I just have to be honest here and call it what it is. I mean, I went in, I had a CAT scan done, but the CAT scan came back normal. And your pain, well, I probably looked like a loony patient looking for narcotics, even though I wasn't. I was in so much pain and the world was spinning, and they fixed the vertigo, but they wouldn't do anything about the pain. The vertigo never really went away, and I specifically remember one of the final family doctor appointments that I went to, because we were put in the end room, and this is important because I remember lying on the examination table and looking down the hallway like this, and it's just everything was moving, and the doctor walked in and he was like, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, everything's moving still." And he said, something on your MRI, something. If you were my daughter, I would send to the Cleveland Clinic. Well, okie dokie, that was the next course of action. I know this was long, I know it was scatterbrained, I know I probably looked everywhere and spent as little time as possible looking into the camera, but you have to understand that I was reliving it in my head as I was telling it to you. And anybody who has experienced a relapse, exacerbation, attack, however you want to classify it, knows that it's scary, it's real, it's overwhelming. I don't know what other words you could use to describe it. It's just, ugh. That works, right? Ugh. Can we use that word? Next week we are going to talk about my diagnosis, which from the doctor's appointment I told you about to January 2007. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!